I thought I knew my wife, Emily, after 38 years of marriage. But what happens when a single package on your kitchen counter unravels everything you believed in? How do you face the truth when the life you built turns out to be a lie? This is my story of betrayal, discovery, and starting over. Welcome to Addy Story, where we share real-life stories that touch the heart and inspire the soul. Subscribe now to join our community, relax, and dive into the stories we have for you. Enjoy. The package lingered on my kitchen counter, bearing my wife's name, yet shrouded in an unsettling aura of secrecy, marked as private and confidential. For 38 years of our lives intertwined, we shared everything, leaving no room for secrets between us. That was the belief I clung to. In the dim silence of a power outage at a local museum in Seattle, our paths crossed, forever altering the course of my life. It was in that unexpected darkness that I met my wife, Emily. We found ourselves ensnared in the same exhibit, surrounded by the whispers of ancient pottery, when suddenly the lights extinguished, plunging us into darkness. For 2 hours, we lingered on a bench, bathed in the flickering glow of emergency lights. Our conversation weaving through the depths of everything and nothing at all. As the lights flickered back to life, a surge of hope coursed through me, and I found myself asking for her number. For nearly 2 years, we shared laughter and dreams, and it was only after countless moments of doubt and hope that I found the strength to ask the question that would change everything. The next year, we exchanged vows in an intimate ceremony in Portland, surrounded by the warmth of our closest loved ones. To the outside world, the life we crafted appeared flawless. As our 2 children spread their wings and left home, we found ourselves embracing the bittersweet freedom of an empty nest. My role at UPS consumed every ounce of my energy, particularly during the holiday rush when I would endure grueling 12-hour shifts, returning home utterly drained. For more than 30 years, I immersed myself in the relentless rhythm of loading trucks, meticulously sorting packages, and ultimately stepping into the role of guiding a team of drivers. The labor was grueling, yet I found a deep sense of pride in ensuring that every delivery reached its destination, regardless of the weather's whims. Emily held the role of front-end supervisor at Target, where she skillfully managed cashiers and provided invaluable support in member services. Her boss, the store manager, frequently lauded her remarkable efficiency. Unbeknownst to me, the truth lurked beneath those seemingly kind words. The initial indication that something was amiss emerged when Emily began staying late at work, not just once in a while, but 3 or 4 nights each week. Whenever I inquired, she would murmur vague references to inventory checks or customer service training, but the details always eluded me, leaving a lingering sense of curiosity and frustration. Then, the enigmatic phone calls began to intrude upon the silence. Emily would emerge onto our back porch, her voice weaving through the air, sometimes lingering for an hour as we shared our thoughts. As I stepped outside, the conversation came to an abrupt halt. She would claim she was conversing with a colleague. Next came the transformations in her appearance. Fresh garments, a transformed hairstyle, an abundance of makeup, truly an overwhelming amount. After years of shared moments, an unexpected urgency ignited within her to seek the approval of another. I convinced myself it was merely a fleeting moment in time. Perhaps turning 61 ignited a longing within her to reclaim her youth. Yet beneath the surface, I sensed an unsettling truth. That morning, the package arrived, and it shattered me. I refrained from opening it. That's just not who I am. Yet as the day wore on, I couldn't shake the unsettling realization that it had vanished without a trace. As I casually brought it up, Emily momentarily froze, a palpable tension hanging in the air. Here are a few excerpts from my writing. But why on earth was she gazing at those books? Emily had never been one to lose herself in the pages of a book. That night, sleep eluded me. The revelation emerged from an unlikely origin. My neighbor nonchalantly revealed that he had spotted Emily's car, consistently stationed at a house in Tacoma, tucked away behind another vehicle. He claimed he recognized it as Emily's car, for she has distinctive personalized tags. He pointed to the doctor's office in the distance, recalling the familiar sight of her car, a fleeting reminder of their encounters. I had a feeling you all might have found a home over there or something similar. As we stood there, side by side, hauling out the trash, he casually revealed a truth that felt like a bombshell, leaving me reeling in its wake, utterly unprepared for the weight of his words. That weekend, I confided in Emily that I was heading out to fish with my friends. It was a Saturday of freedom. At UPS, weekends pulse with an intensity that can be felt in every corner, particularly in the sorting facility where I toiled. Rather than casting my line into the water, I found myself parked across from Target, anticipation coursing through me as I waited. Yes, I understand how that may come across, but wouldn't you find yourself in the same position? As the clock struck 5, she stepped out into the world alongside her coworkers from Target. There was nothing out of the ordinary, yet instead of making her way to her car, she turned and walked 2 blocks, slipping into a black sedan that was unfamiliar to me. I trailed behind, a wave of nausea churning within me with every step. The car glided towards a quaint diner in Bellevue, a mere 15 minutes away from Target. Through the window, I observed Emily, my wife of nearly 40 years, nestled beside a man of similar age, her boss, the store manager from Target. A wave of emotion surged within me as I took in the scene, each moment heavy with unspoken words and lingering doubts. Their bodies drew closer, an unmistakable tension crackling in the air, far from any semblance of professionalism. I captured images with my phone, yet each click pierced through me like a dagger to the heart. I chose not to confront them. I found myself yearning for deeper insights. I approached HR and expressed my need for a 2-week respite. They faced no obstacles in that regard. We had the team in place, and I found the time carved out in my schedule to step away. In the following fortnight, I found myself unraveling the mysteries of my own marriage, stepping into the role of a part-time detective. I sifted through the phone records, uncovering a torrent of messages, hundreds of texts exchanged with 2 distinct numbers. One was owned by her boss, the store manager at Target. One remained shrouded in enigma. I discovered receipts for various items charged to our credit card on days she insisted she was at work and attending those so-called conferences. There were treasures I never laid eyes on, lavish and extravagant. One fateful night as she lay in slumber, I found myself drawn to her phone, uncovering messages that revealed a clandestine arrangement stretching back 8 long months. Yet, the true revelation awaited me within an app that held secrets far deeper than I could have ever imagined. I believe it was titled Text Me. They came from a person named Michael, her college boyfriend from a time long before our paths intertwined. It seems they found their way back to each other at a class reunion last year. The messages unfolded with raw clarity, painting vivid pictures of their encounters and the anticipation of future reunions. Emily was entangled in something far deeper than mere infidelity. She was skillfully balancing two of them at once. For a man who held his intelligence and keen observation in such high regard, I found myself drowning in the depths of foolishness, feeling like the greatest fool on this planet. In the stillness of those late nights, amidst the chaos of inventories and work emergencies, I found myself in our home office until dawn broke. There, enveloped by the haunting remnants of Emily's hidden existence, I grappled with the weight of 38 years of marriage, a lifetime of trust shattered in an instant, and the bitter realization that I had been blind to it all. For days, I wrestled with the weight of this chaos, searching for a way to navigate through the turmoil. A part of me yearned to erupt, to seize her and demand to know how she could so carelessly discard nearly 4 decades we had shared. Yet I am not made for such outbursts. I had to approach this with careful consideration. I meticulously duplicated every detail: the emails, the receipts, the phone records, each piece a fragment of a larger haunting narrative. I sought the counsel of a lawyer, keeping it hidden from Emily. After 38 years, I found myself bracing for battle against the woman I had envisioned sharing my twilight years with. I selected a Friday evening for the confrontation, fully aware that she would be free the following Saturday. There was no particular cause, just another mundane day, on the brink of transforming into something profoundly unsettling. Emily returned from work just as the clock struck 7. Her eyes widened in astonishment as she caught sight of me on the patio, the door ajar, a folder spread out before me. "You're home early," she said, her voice laced with a mixture of surprise and curiosity as she set down her purse. "In fact, I am precisely on time," I responded. I gazed at her from the porch, lifting the folder high and giving a gentle wave, my heart racing with unspoken words. "Why not come and see what I've discovered?" She stepped onto the patio, her movements deliberate as she picked up the folder, then settled into the chair opposite me. "Ha, that's amusing." Her expression revealed a delightful surprise, a spark of joy illuminating her features. Her expression shifted from a flicker of confusion to a wave of shock, tinged with a hint of guilt. Then came a sensation that resembled relief, yet it pierced deeper than any other pain. "For how long were you planning to continue this charade?" I inquired. I kept my voice steady, refusing to let it rise or betray my emotions. She paused, the silence stretching between them like a taut string, heavy with unspoken words. Instead, she shut it with a decisive motion, placing it on the table and pushing it away as if it were tainted. It was never my intention for things to unfold this way. The most time-worn excuse of all? Which one could it be? The tantalizing entanglement with your superior, or the passionate resurgence with your former love? I inquired. Or was it never your intention for me to uncover the truth? In her silence, I found the weight of unspoken truths. "It has been 38 years, I declared. "Did any of it truly exist?" "It was undeniably real," she murmured, her voice trembling with the weight of truth. "Yet everything shifts. Transformation is an inevitable part of life. So, you've chosen to become a person who deceives? Who betrays trust? Who turns against the one who has been their steadfast companion for almost 40 years? In that moment, tears began to flow from her eyes. Not the graceful tears of true remorse, but the chaotic wails of a soul ensnared. I unfolded the events that were destined to follow. I had already transported the majority of my belongings to an Airbnb. I possessed sufficient funds to remain for at least a month. Despite my friends' warnings urging me to remain indoors, the pull to step outside was irresistible. Had I done that, she would not have survived. I informed her that my lawyer would reach out to her tomorrow regarding the divorce proceedings. "You can't simply discard it all," she implored, her voice trembling with urgency. I gazed at her, time stretching between us, each second heavy with unspoken words. I said to her, "That's precisely what you did. I'm finally putting it in writing." As I prepared to walk away, her hand closed around my arm, holding me in place. Her touch, once a source of warmth and solace, now sent shivers of unfamiliarity coursing through me. It held no significance. They were just, I warned her not to touch me and yanked my arm away with force. I urged her to hold on to those words for someone who might still feel the weight of them. Stepping through that door was a paradox, a moment that felt simultaneously like the heaviest weight and the lightest release I had ever experienced. Fortunately, the divorce didn't become a monumental struggle. It was progressing steadily, each moment unfolding with purpose. Ultimately, I secured 60% of the equity when the house is sold. It's hard to believe she wouldn't receive anything after all those years we spent together as a married couple. We divided the remaining assets. She holds onto her retirement, while I cling to mine. She receives no alimony. The judge declared that she earns a sufficient income to sustain herself and uphold her way of life. Emily remained silent on all other matters. As soon as she grasped the weight of the evidence I possessed, the judge's disdain for her double betrayal became unmistakable. Our children were taken aback when I revealed that they had always viewed us as the ideal couple, steadfast, nurturing, unwavering. The revelation of their mother's betrayal pierced through their very core, leaving them reeling in disbelief. What allows you to remain so composed in the face of this? One evening, my daughter posed a question to me. "Believe me, I truly am not," I confessed. Fury courses through me, pain lingers in my heart, yet I stand resolute, determined not to let this consume my spirit. The most challenging aspect wasn't the courtroom battles or the splitting of belongings. It was those solitary nights, haunted by the echoes of my choices, grappling with the relentless question of whether I could have altered the course of fate. My friends transformed into my very lifeline. My UPS coworkers were unaware of the storm brewing in my personal life, but once I opened up about my divorce, their support enveloped me like a warm embrace. After decades of navigating blizzards, heat waves, and the frenzied holiday rush, they had forged bonds that transcended mere colleagues. They had become a family. They pulled me from my refuge when all I craved was to disappear. They were there, ready to absorb my words when I needed to release the weight of my thoughts. They made it clear that her decisions were not a reflection of my own actions. It had been 9 long months since I left, and there I was, unexpectedly face to face with Emily's boss at Best Buy in Everett. He averted his gaze in an instant, the weight of shame etched deeply across his features. Through the whispers of mutual friends, I learned that Emily and her boss's connection faded swiftly after our divorce. It seems the presence of the ex-boyfriend has woven a tangled web of complications. Last I heard, she was living in solitude, trying to connect with our children, yet receiving only the faintest echoes of their replies. I began my journey by volunteering at a training center in Olympia, where I guide the remarkable dogs destined to become service animals and loyal companions. I found that experience truly captivating. I revisited cherished pastimes and unearthed exciting new passions. A year had passed since the divorce, and I found myself on a journey to Montana, a place Emily had always turned away from. As I stood on the glacier, the northern lights swirling in a mesmerizing dance overhead, an indescribable weight began to lift from my soul. The pain didn't vanish in an instant, and I won't feign otherwise. There are still instances when a memory strikes me unexpectedly, or when I stretch out across the bed, driven by instinct, only to encounter the chilling void of emptiness. Yet, as time marches on, those moments become increasingly rare. Many of my friends and colleagues have inquired about what I might have changed in my marriage. I revealed nothing to them. I poured my heart and soul into every gesture, yet it still fell short of her expectations. At times, love falls short. The uncertainty of what lies ahead weighs heavily on my mind. Dating at this stage of my life presents its challenges, particularly with the weight of my past. Yet I find myself embracing the potential for new connections. Recently, a woman from my hiking group extended an invitation for coffee. I found myself uttering the word yes, a simple affirmation that carried the weight of 1,000 unspoken emotions. 18 years is a significant portion of one's life to dedicate to another, yet the remainder of my existence still belongs to me. That's the essence of betrayal. One chapter may close, yet your story is far from over. My reflections? I have expressed this in numerous videos. Even the strongest of long-term marriages can fall prey to the shadows of infidelity. I refuse to cast shadows or diminish his worth. Each man responds to betrayal in his own unique way. In that pivotal moment, as his wife clutched his arm, he found the strength within himself to refrain from violence. In such moments, some men may find their hearts overpowering their minds, swayed by the tides of emotion rather than the anchor of reason. Once more, I urge you, do not sacrifice your freedom for the sake of a woman. Thanks for watching this story on Addy Story. If you enjoyed it, don't forget to like, share, and hit that subscribe button so you never miss a new tale. Stay tuned for more, and until next time, take care and keep living your own amazing stories.